What's going on, everyone? Tim Williams here. We're here to break down tonight's 14-game MLB slate over on DraftKings. It is Tuesday, August 24th. 14 big ones to talk about here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What is going on? My name is Tim. We're going to go through each and every one of these 14 games here, kind of pick out our favorite stacks, some one-offs here, talk about pitching, hitting, all that good stuff. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, helps me out a ton. And let's just dive right in here. First game we have to talk about is the Diamondbacks taking on the Pirates. Diamondbacks favorited here on the road, 8.5 over under. You have Bumgarner taking on Brubaker. Bumgarner 7.1K. I have a little bit of interest if you are doing some big GPP contest. 21.5% strikeout rate there, 43% fly ball rate. Kind of interesting here against a watered down Pirates lineup. Brubaker on the other side, 6.7K, 22.8% strikeout rate here, 33% fly ball rate. So does a decent job limiting the fly balls. Really struggling his last three outings here, giving up a 248 ISO, two left-handed batters, 231 ISO, two right-handed batters. I don't really love the Diamondbacks bats in general, so it should be a decent matchup for Brubaker. I just think his upside's kind of limited here, and kind of similar with Bumgarner here, but he's more of the veteran. So I definitely lean more Bumgarner here, not really advocating for him in cash games or anything like that, but in those really, really deep GPP contests. As far as bats go, I really like Varsho. I mentioned him yesterday. He went and hit a home run. 3.6K, I think, is decent value. 230 ISO against right-handed pitching. So he kind of matches up pretty well here. On the other side with the Pirates, Reynolds is the only bat I have minor interest in, but at the price at 4.1K, just not 100% in on him. So it's Varsho, maybe Bumgarner in this first one here. Next game we have is the Rays and the Phillies, 9 over under here. The Rays are favorited here on the road. Rasmussen taking on Suarez. Not really interested in either pitcher here, but we'll talk about it a little bit. Rasmussen, 6.8K, 27% strikeout rate here. Really walks a lot of guys, 11% walk rate there, 47% ground ball rate. Rays have a pretty decent bullpen. He'll probably only go 50, 60 pitches. And then on the other side, Suarez, 6K, near 24% strikeout rate there, 10% walk rate, 69% ground ball rate. So really just gets a lot of ground ball outs. Not really interested there. Not tons of upside from these pitchers here. On the Rays side, if I'm taking a one-off, I really love Mike Zunino here, 4.2K. 537 ISO against left-handed pitching, which is insane. Only a 19% ground ball rate against left-handed pitching. So he really, really matches up well here. I like his odds here a lot. Franco is the other guy I'm interested in on the Rays, 5.2K, 254 ISO against lefties. So he's mashing lefties as well. On the other side, Hoskins at 4.7 would be the one kind of one-off I like. Harper, sure, he's in the mix. But Hoskins himself, 263 ISO against righties here. Not really interested in stacking against the Rays with the bullpen they have there, but definitely have some interest in the one-offs here. Next game we have to talk about is the Angels taking on the Orioles, 10.5 over under here, big total. Angels favorited here. Bundy taking on Watkins. Bundy, 5.8K, 21% strikeout rate here, 44% hard contact. Really just been struggling a lot. I don't like him here. He is fairly cheap. Could be an interesting GPP, kind of throw in there in the player pool, but I don't like the ballpark he is in today in Baltimore. Watkins on the other side, big no thank you there. 14% strikeout rate here, 9% walk rate. This is a guy who was about to teach or be a high school baseball coach. Now he's pitching in the majors, which is wild. Struggles against right-handed batters here, 228 ISO, giving up two righties. So Ohtani, the clear favorite here. I like him a lot. 6.4K is very expensive. He's more expensive than both of these pitchers. 345 ISO against right-handed pitching in Baltimore. Maybe people don't get there because of the salary. So I am very in on Ohtani today. Stassi, 4.5K. Price is a little high, but profiles really well here. Upton as well, 3.4. Prefer Upton against lefties, but pretty good matchup for your in general. I think the Angels are going to be kind of highly owned, so I just might look at Ohtani as like a one-off. and try to get different elsewhere. And then on the Orioles side, Mullins at 4.5K, Santander 2.8K, nice value there. Interesting spot here for the bats on both sides. I think this game will be a popular one here. So next game we have to talk about here is the White Sox taking on the Blue Jays, 8.5 over under. Blue Jays favorited. Blue Jays back at home in Toronto. They have a humidor in the ballpark now. It's kind of playing out more like a pitcher's park. Cease taking on Barrios. Kind of like yesterday, we have a nice pitching matchup. Cease 8.8K, 30.5% strikeout rate, which is massive, 9.5% walk rate. Just a fly ball pitcher 41% of the time. Tough matchup here for him, though. Barrios 8.6K, 25% strikeout rate here. The one blip I have against him is the 244 ISO given up to left-handed batters. So he's just been really struggling against lefties here. Fortunately for him, the White Sox are very right-handed. So I don't mind Goodwin at 3.6K. No one's going to own him. 244 ISO against right-handed pitching. Blue Jays, I think they're just kind of pricey. Cease has a decent amount of upside here, but I guess maybe just a fade, low over under total here. Both pitchers I think are in play. Goodwin as a one-off, I don't mind. Next, we have the Nationals taking on the Marlins. No favorite here, 8.5 over under. Fed taking on Luzardo. Fed 7.3K. Nice matchup against the Marlins. Probably not going to get there. 20% strikeout rate there. Kind of limits his upside. 51% ground ball rate. Walks guys here and there. Luzardo on the other side, 6.4K. I am definitely off of him. I have been since he's gotten traded to the Marlins. I know a lot of slates we've had in the past, people have been on him. I am not. 22% strikeout rate here. He does have tons of talent, but he's just walking too many guys 12% of the time. 41% fly ball rate, 46% hard hit contact rate there. Really struggling against right-handed batters, 265 ISO to the righties. I am in on the Nationals. Other sites might not be, but I definitely am, because they're going to save me some salary here. And then, guys like Soto are just too cheap, 5.4K. He has a 246 ISO against the lefties. Bell as well, a little bit too cheap here, 4K, 278 ISO against lefties. I think, the other guys, as far as value go, Lane Thomas has been hitting very well at 2K. Keyboom, 2.1K, I think has some upside there. Adams, if he's starting at catcher, is a very nice value play who profiles well here. So yeah, sign me up for some Nationals. The other side here, Marlins, it's not that Fed just scares me, but I just don't think the Marlins have a ton of upside, in this particular matchup. I don't like the ballpark. I will say that for the Nationals, but very much interested there against a guy who is just a young kid, new environment for him. So next game we have is the Mets and the Giants. Mets at home here, 8.5 over under. Sammy Long against McGill. Long 6.6K, 27% strikeout rate here in a very limited sample size, 10% walk rate, 51% hard hit contact, which is a little extreme. Struggles against right-handed batters. McGill on the other side, 6.9K, 26% strikeout rate here. Not a bad pitcher at a pretty decent value cost. 214 ISO against left-handed batters. Unfortunately for him, the Giants have a ton of lefties, or a decent amount of them, I should say. Wade, Belt, Crawford are my top three. Don't mind like a mini stack there. And then on the other side with the Mets, I think these guys are a little bit too cheap for their ceiling. Alonso at 4.4K, Baez 4.7, Drury at 2K, nice little value play, just allows you to kind of pay up for some pitching or some bats. Don't love the ballpark here, but definitely some guys in play. Next, we have the Twins and the Red Sox here. Red Sox are favorited at home, 10.5 over under. Jax taking on Houck. Jax 6.1K, 17% strikeout rate there, 48% fly ball rate. A young pitcher in Fenway Park. Weather's going to be beautiful. It's very humid. If he's getting about 50% fly balls, I think, good luck to him. Also, the Twins bullpen has really struggled over the last 30 days. I think the Red Sox bats are going to be popular. They are pricey, but they're very, solid for those cash games. Houck on the other side, 7.9K, I like him a lot as a pitcher. I wish the price was down a little bit more. 32% strikeout rate here, so he does have some nice ceiling there. 29% fly ball rate, which is great. 45% ground ball rate. I just worry about how deep he can actually go. Might go about 5, maybe 6 innings. The Twins, yeah, I know they traded Cruz, but I think they have a lot of bats here that are very much in play. I don't think I'm going to get there, full disclosure, but Polanco, Donaldson, Kepler, Sano, all nicely priced here in a good hitting environment where a lot of people are probably just going to be on the Red Sox side. That being said, with the Red Sox, they had the highest run implied total here. Martinez, Schwarber, Devers, Bogarts, Verdugo. I definitely have some interest in the Red Sox as well. Next, we have the Rangers taking on the Indians, 9.5 over under here. Indians are favorited at home. Hearn taking on Eli Morgan. Hearn 5K, not a ton of interest there. He is very cheap though, I must say, at 24% strikeout rate, which isn't bad, but just walking too many dudes, 12% walk right there. And then Morgan on the other side, 7-7. I think if you are, mass entering in GPPs, he should probably make your player pool. 23% strikeout rate here. He does give up a ton of fly balls, which does worry me. 52% fly ball rate, but he's kind of turning things around here. A lot of those Indians pitchers are 3 out of his last 4 games. He has thrown a quality start. I think he has minimal upside here, but the Rangers are so bad that I think Eli Morgan is kind of interesting here. Not interested in any Rangers bats, but on the Indian side, Rosario at 4K, double digit DraftKings points in the last 6 of his 7 games. He is hot. He is on fire right now. Ramirez 5.8. Reyes a little pricey here, but I like Rosario and I like Ramirez more. Next, we have the Yankees and the Braves, 9 over under. Braves are favorited here at home. Heaney taking on Morton. Heaney 7.5K. Not a ton of interest there. He just gives up a lot of fly balls. Strikeout rate's fine, 27%. That's actually pretty decent, but 244 ISO against right-handed batters. Braves are kind of a tough lineup to get through, so not too much interest in Heaney, but Morton on the other side at 9K. The Yankees strike out a lot. Morton 28.5% strikeout rate here, 50% ground ball rate. Huascar Yanoa had a pretty nice start against the Yankees yesterday. Yankees bats do have power upside, but they also strike out a lot, so I do have interest in Morton. As far as bats go, not interested on the Yankees, but on the Braves side, the one guy I really love is Soler, 4.2K, 314 ISO against left-handed pitching, 53% fly ball rate going against a guy who gives up a ton of fly balls. So he is the one bat I really love on the Braves. Albies, I think he's in play, Duvall as well, but really just focused on Soler as a one-off here. So next game we have is the Tigers taking on the Cardinals. Cardinals are favorited here at home, 8 over under. Mize taking on Flaherty. Mize 6.3K, 20% strikeout rate here, 51% ground ball rate. Really hasn't been too terrible as a pitcher, but really struggles against left-handed bats, 277 ISO against lefties there. Not a ton of interest here. I mean, it is a nice matchup for Mize, but the strikeout rate isn't high enough for me to kind of get there. So his upside is kind of capped here. Flaherty on the other side, 9.6K. I think he's a nice spend up here, 27% strikeout rate here. Great spot against the Tigers. The projected Tigers lineup has a combined 25% strikeout rate here. They really just struggle against right-handed pitching in general. So it is a beautiful matchup for Flaherty. As far as bats go, the Cardinals don't have a lot of lefties to throw at Mize. I don't mind Nootbaar at all at 2.2K. I know it sounds crazy, but 244 ISO and 50 at bats against right-handed pitching. So if you need like just a one-off cheap bat, I don't think Nootbaar would be a bad option here. So really like Flaherty though in this spot overall. Next game we have to talk about here is the Rockies and the Cubs. 9 over under here. Rockies are favorited here. Marquez taking on Steele. Marquez 8.2K. I think that's a fair price going against a very, very watered down Cubs lineup. 25% strikeout rate for Marquez, 8.5% walk rate. I'm not too worried about that. Does get a ton of ground balls, 52% of the time. Steele on the other side, limited sample size here, but 28% strikeout rate. So you can flash some upside there, but just walks a lot of guys 11% of the time. Ground ball pitcher in his own right. Full disclosure here, I got some bats on the slides here, but Rockies do hit lefties pretty well. Rogers, Joe, Crone, Hampson. I think they're in play in very, very, very deep GPPs. I'm not totally probably going to get there. And then on the other side, depending on Marquez's ownership, I think he will garner a lot of ownership here, but it is 14 games. So I don't know how crazy high owned he's going to be. I could see stacking some guys against Marquez, Wisdom, Ortega, Happ, Schwindel, the only four that really have upside there, but I'm probably just off this game. Maybe a little bit of interest with Marquez though as a pitcher. Next, we have the Reds and the Brewers, 7.5 over under, very low total here. And you could see why with these pitchers. Brewers are favorited. Molly taking on Burns. Molly 9.9K, 27% strikeout rate there. So there is some upside. Just an overall solid pitcher. He has been struggling against right-handed bats, 255 ISO there. He's been kind of hit or miss. So I think you could take a shot on him in GPPs. On the other side with Burns, 10.6K, the highest price pitcher on the slate, 36% strikeout rate there, 51% ground ball rate. He is elite. Tougher matchup against the Reds, but I don't have any interest in Reds bats here. I don't think they're going to just gang up on Burns. Very talented pitcher there. On the other side, I'm 50-50 on this. The righties do well against Molly. Garcia, Adames, I should say, Escobar. I think they're all in play here. They're just kind of pricey, and they also strike out a lot. So that's what makes Molly kind of interesting. Next game we have to talk about here is the Royals taking on the Astros, 8.5 over under. Astros favorited at home. Astros kind of, I don't know. They have these games where they just blow up, and then sometimes they just struggle. The Royals pitchers are kind of coming around, these young kids. Singer, 5.7K. I'm not saying go out and roster Singer, but he has been pitching better as of late. 22% strikeout rate there, near 10% walk rate, so not a ton of interest there. 49% ground ball rate. Does a good job limiting fly balls, doesn't give up a ton of home runs. Garcia on the other side, 9.7K. I think he's just a little overpriced in this matchup. 29% strikeout rate, 41% fly ball rate, 205 ISO, 2 left-handed batters. I'm not in on the Royals bats here. Probably won't be really for the rest of the season, maybe some one-offs here, but I don't really like the price for Garcia. As far as bats go for the Astros, I think Myers is a decent value at 2.4K. Altuve hitting decent against right-handed pitching at 5.4K. Same thing with Alvarez at 5.3. Just mainly looking for one-offs in this matchup. Other than that, probably just going to fade this game. And then this last game, we don't really know a ton of, but it looks like Urias and Darvish are both coming off the IR. 8.5 over under here. Dodgers are favorited. Urias, 9.2K, 27% strikeout rate, 42% ground ball rate, slightly worse against left-handed batters. Darvish on the other side, 9.4K, 29% strikeout rate here, 44% fly ball rate. That is pretty high. 220 ISO, 2 righties. I have a lot of Dodgers on here, but I'm not saying, go full stack the Dodgers. Maybe one or two of these bats is like a one-off. I really like Trey Turner at 5K, Justin Turner, Smith, Pollock, Taylor. Taylor's priced a little bit too cheap. I prefer him against lefties, but we'll see. I'm not even 100% sure Urias or Darvish will start, but they are listed on DraftKings. So not interested in the pitching here because of both of them are coming off the IR. But on the Padres side, Cronenworth, Hosmer, the two lefties that they really have. Padres just kind of struggle against left-handed pitching in general. So this game's kind of a question mark. We'll just have to wait till more news comes out here, but don't mind these guys as like a one-off here as far as the bats go. That'll do it. 14 games in a nutshell. Real quick and simple. My name's Tim Williams. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Take it easy. Good luck tonight. Peace.